Hello fellow musicians, this is VXT and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reviewing a brand new artist called Bandz with the song Push Start. So without any further ado, let's just jump right into it.
I gotta start from the start cause I got a lot to say. People gon' play their part cause they want a piece of the pay. That shit fake, believe that. And leave that like a ray. Swear being an artist is really the hardest. You gotta believe in what you make. Might be some close friends who down you, don't know how you should take it. All that hard work, second guessing yourself in the basement. Might some confidence to get started, but the criticism finna break it. Now watch when I go vacant. This shit is push started and rented. I told all my niggas to call me lieutenant. I got a bad bitch that look like McKinnon. She told me to play my song with a minute. Now I'm spinning and spinning and spinning.
Oh shit, I'm sorry, gotta pause there. Oh, the flow is super hot and I was concentrating only on the flow. But I think what you're saying is just as important, my man. That's so, like, one of the lines you said was, everybody has great energy in the beginning when you start. And then once you get criticism, that's when you finna break. And that's so true. I mean, I've been in this industry for about 10, 12 years at this point, 11 years. I used to make EDM back in the day. I was at a record label and so many artists that I've signed and so many friends that always wanted to do what I do. I taught them how to do music production. I got them into a label. I got them to a point where they could push start, but nobody ever keeps it on because music becomes your job and you don't want to do it. I mean, even in terms of my degree, like I have a master's in music technology. Like there were so many people I saw who wanted to do a master's, and when they come in, they're like, oh, we gotta do speech processing and like how music is made, and like we have to learn how to make an EQ and a compressor, and they just drop out like pennies. So you just gotta keep going on, my man. Loving the flow so far. Let's see where we go.
She told me to play my song with a minute. Now I be spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning all day long for a minute. Now I be winning and winning and winning and winning. I stayed strong for a minute. I had to stay strong for a minute. Now look at the way I've been draping while rocking these shows. The way I've been rocking these clothes. You can tell I've been doing everything I suppose. Let me right under my nose. Wiping the slime for a second, they thought it's a cold. Feel like a 3 had to go. I'm about to run out of breath, man, the way did I go? They getting mad, I eat up. I'm doing this shit while I'm kicking my feet up. Told them to send me the beat to get beat up. I got a home studio, I don't meet up. I don't like to play, but I be scoring every single day. I buzz her and I beat her. And I'm too cold, watch how I heat up. I'm about to show my ex why I don't need her. I said, put some respect on my name. I'm not a dog, I'm a dang. You know I get, bitch, I'm a vet in the game. I'm your man again. Like, I bet, I'ma get brand new rings to match my brand new chains. I'ma get brand new chains to match my brand new chains. Swear being an artist is really the hardest. You gotta believe in what you make. Might be some close friends who down you, don't know how you should take it. All that hard work, second guessing yourself in the basement. Might some confidence to get started, but the criticism finna break. This shit is push started and rented. I told all my niggas to call me lieutenant. I got a bad bitch that look like McKinnon. She told me to play my song with a minute. Now I be spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning all day long for a minute. Now I be winning and winning and winning and winning. I stay strong for a minute. Every time that they down me, it made me go harder. That's how you know that I'm built for this shit. I was not.
Alright, before we get into the second verse, I just want to point out a couple of things that I'm hearing as an engineer again. First things first, I don't like that you have the exact same flow going on so far. Hoping for a flow change. There was one time you had a flow change there, but otherwise you're going through the same rhythm. It's kind of like a quadruplet followed by triplet followed by quadruplet. You know what I mean? Like in terms of music theory, if I had to put it on sheet music, it's quadruple, triplet, quadruple, and that fits your 8 bars, and you repeat over and over again. And then one time at the end of the 4th bar, you break that rhythm. I think that's your chorus, that's your hook. And you're using the same flow for the hook and the chorus, for the hook and the verse. And one thing that I don't like about that, in terms of not just the delivery, like the delivery is fine. Even if you're gonna use the same vocal line, that's fine. In terms of the beat or in terms of the mixing, there is no difference between your vocals in the verse and the chorus. Like in terms of delivery, you're doing the exact same flow. In terms of your vocal choices, I think one of the things that I'm hearing, maybe it's just my room, maybe it's just my monitors, listening to them on JBL 306s, and my glass wool doesn't have great protection towards low end. I have some bass traps in the corner, but I'm hearing a lot of 120 to 125 hertz. I think that's your fundamental frequency. I think it's overpowering the mix a little bit too much. Like that's where the 808 is kicking in as well. So either you have like a sidechain compressor, or what I would have done is put a multi-band compressor on your vocals in the verse, where every time you hit about a certain decibel, have like a threshold of -13 to -15 dB, and every time you go above that, I'll control the dynamic range in the low end, below 150 hertz, and then so your presence and everything above 1K can shine through. I might have needed like a de-esser at the end just to smooth it out a little bit. That's what I would have done on the verses. And then for the choruses, I would have used 2 or 3 different takes. I know right now you're doing different takes and you're overlapping them, so you have like those breathless part. Not to compare you to other artists, but I hear a lot of Lil Baby influences in terms of the flow and like the way the vocal phrases are overlapping each other. But for the choruses, like the part that you repeat, I would have had at least 2 or 3 different takes, and then you could have panned them left and right, or just have something different, like have a flanging effects on, or have some kind of a chorus diffuser, or put a little bit more reverb, or take out the high end just a little bit, take out the low end from the beat just a little bit, just so the listener knows that this is where the chorus is and you can sing along to this part before you go back into the verse. Again, there's nothing wrong with a song being through composed, but I think that's not the vibe that you're going for here. But as an engineer, as an A&R, this is the stuff I want to point out. If you want to take it, take it. If you want to leave it, it's all subjective. There is no meritocracy in music. Let's just see where the second verse goes now.
Every time that they down me, it made me go harder. That's how you know that I'm built for this shit. I was never the one that loved going to school. I ain't working every single day for the shit. Man, y'all got me fucked up. Had to drop out of college on lie to giving me gifts. I could have been a doctor for what I was studying, but even that can't get me this. I'm on a whole nother level, and I don't plan on slowing down. Shawty gon' scream no cattle. She know I'm up next just by my sound, so that's why she bought my sound. I ain't no regular rapper. I tried to tell you that I ain't no regular rapper. They didn't wanna listen, I turned to a trapper. I put the card in the box like a pack. Told him I'd fuck with you, so here's what I could do for you. 70 bucks for the crack. I'm a hustler, can't be a lacker. I'm so good at numbers, they thought I'm a hack. Man, I gotta get to these bands. I gotta get to the cheddar, you know what I'm after. This shit is push started and rented. I told all my niggas to call me lieutenant. I got a bad bitch that look like McKinney. She told me to play my song with a minute. Now I be spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning all day long for a minute. Now I be winning and winning and winning and winning. I stay strong for a minute. I had to stay strong for a minute. Now look at the way I've been draping while rocking these shows. The way I've been rocking these clothes. You can tell I've been doing anything I suppose. Money right under my nose. Wiping the slime for a second and thought it's a cold. Feel like a 3 had to go. I'm about to run out of breath, man, the way did I go?
Oh, okay. Is that it? Oh, do we just have silence for the next 30 seconds? Wow, that's a big no-no, my man. If you use Logic, or I think you use FL Studio, and I think once you're rendering your audio out, you gotta make sure in the rendering options you click what's the option? Wrap remainder or cut remainder instead of leave remainder, so you wouldn't have this empty space in the end. Like, that's not a great thing for being in a playlist. Like, if your song is in a playlist and I have to wait 30 seconds for the next song, I'm just gonna get you out of the playlist, and that's just a bad thing. Like, it's a nice song, so just make sure you don't have a silence at the end. But what did I want to say about the second verse? I like the instrumental there. I was just listening to the instrumental a little more carefully. The snare is amazing. It's banging. There's a Reese bass in the background. I think it's basically like 2 sawtooth waveforms just detuned from each other, and it's playing the same 2 notes. I think it's going from a C sharp to a C, which is a really common Travis Scott and like dark hip hop chord progression. It's basically just doing 1 followed by the diminished 7th. So really nice bass line there. The snare was amazing. The bounce on the snares, like there was swing on the off tempo. One more thing I wanted to say about the production was, especially in the second one, there was like some cellos coming in, and then the piano arpeggio like started growing up in volume. I think there was like a LFO controlling the cutoff frequency on the envelope. Now, I don't know if this producer made this beat for you, and I don't know what kind of contractual agreement you have in place. Is it like a non-exclusive license, or do you have like an exclusive license? But even if you don't, even if it's like a free for non-profit use, non-commercial use, I would say just buy the beat. It's like most producers are pretty cheap. It's like 30-60 bucks. Just get the tags out of there. It just doesn't sound professional. Also, the tags were too loud in my opinion, because your vocals are loud. They're really super compressed. Like you have like a really good CLA. I think something like 1176. Your dynamic range on your vocals is really, really hard. It's cutting to -6, but then the vocal tag from the producer comes in at like 0 dB, and it's just like blows me out of the water and takes me out of the song just a little bit. But other than that, just to conclude, 3 big things that I observed: really nice lyrical sense, really nice flow, great production. And 3 things that I would change is change in delivery, change in cadence, or at some point for the chorus versus the verses. Number 2, I would say try and use like a multi-band compressor. You're going a little bit too heavy on the 120 to 125, 150 hertz. And then number 3, like I said before, don't have silence at the end of it. But to be honest, other than that, this was an amazing song. Like it was really, really, really well done, well written, well thought out. You definitely know what you're doing lyrically, and I felt a lot of it. Like some of the messages I'm definitely resonating with. One of the things that I think you said, being an artist is really the hardest. You gotta believe in what you make, which is very tough. Like it does get tough. How am I gonna continue to do this? Is this gonna last forever? Am I ever gonna run out of creativity? So it's just an amazingly written song. And one thing before I forget, the filtering at the end for the vocals with just like the telephone EQ sound, that was amazing. That was a really nice touch. That was a great outro for the song. You know what you're doing, you know what you're getting yourselves into. You are a really contemplative, thoughtful, conscious rapper, so you're really doing well for yourself. And if anybody wants to check him out, this is Bandz. I'll leave his Instagram down in the description below. And if you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe to this channel, and also share this video so you can share this music with more people. And as always, don't forget to do what you love what you do. This is VXD signing off. Peace.